In this video, we are going to build a 3-level dependent drop-down system in Excel. But this time, the focus is on making it truly dynamic. Here's the final result we are working toward. Level 1. A drop-down list of continents. Level 2. Based on selected continent, the next drop-down shows only the related countries. Level 3. Based on selected country, the final drop-down shows only the related cities or regions. So each level depends on the selection made in level above it. But there is one important difference compared to the previous video. This time, the data is stored in Excel tables. The drop-downs update automatically as data grows. No buffer ranges, no manual resizing, and no indirect function. This is how dependent dropdown should behave in a real-world Excel system. This method uses XLOOKUP, dynamic array, and spill referencing. So it works in Excel 2021 and Excel 365. If you are using an older Excel version, you will need the indirect and named ranges approach, which I have already covered in a separate video. The link of the video is in the description. This method works, but it's harder to maintain. This video focuses on modern scalable approach. If you know XLOOKUP, cool. And if you don't, please watch some tutorial on YouTube or watch my last video on dropdowns. I have covered XLOOKUP there. Link is in the description. Here in this video, we will cover the basics of dynamic array and spill referencing. Before we build anything, let's understand why we are using tables. In real Excel files, data keeps growing. New categories are added and new values appear over the time. If your drop-down source is based on fixed ranges, your system will eventually break. Excel tables solve this problem. Tables automatically expand, keep data structured, and update linked formulas automatically. So, if we want drop-downs that survive data changes, tables are the correct foundation. Now, let's combine tables with XLOOKUP. Inside this worksheet grid, XLOOKUP can read table headers, it can return entire columns, and even it spills the result automatically. Everything works perfectly. If I change the selected value, the result updates. The spill range adjusts, no issue at all. So far, the Excel behaves as expected. Now comes the key issue. If I take same XLOOKUP formula and try to use it inside data validation, Excel throws an error, or treats the formula as text, or refuses to calculate it. This is not a mistake. Data validation does not handle structured table references reliably. This is why in the previous video we had to rely on the buffer ranges. But this time we want a fully dynamic system, so we need a workaround. This is where dynamic arrays come in. Dynamic arrays allow one formula to return multiple values and spill them automatically into neighboring cells. Excel also gives us a way to reference the entire spilled output using the hash symbol. And this is the key idea. Data validation understands spill ranges, even though it struggles with tables. So instead of pointing data validation directly to the tables, we will point it to spilled ranges generated from tables. Before we move to the workaround, let's first understand some basics of dynamic arrays and spill referencing. So what are dynamic arrays? Dynamic arrays are a modern feature in Excel where a single formula can return multiple values, and Excel automatically places those results into multiple cells. Excel manages the size and shape of that list automatically. Let's see this in the action. Here, I already have my data stored in an Excel table. Now, instead of manually copying anything, I will simply reference these table headers. The moment I press enter, notice what happens. Excel automatically fills the value into the neighboring cells. This blue outline you see tells us something important, that this entire range is controlled by one formula. I didn't drag anything. Excel decides how many cells were required and spills the result automatically. Now, let's take a look at dynamic function. In this column, I have repeated values. If I use the unique function on this list and press enter, Excel immediately returns a clean list of unique values. Again, notice the behavior. One formula, multiple results, and automatic spill. This is why these are called dynamic arrays function, because the output adjusts automatically based on the data. Pay attention to the blue border again. This blue outline means Excel owns this range. You cannot edit individual cells inside it. Let me try typing something inside this spilled area. Excel immediately throws a spill error. That error is actually helpful. It confirms that this is a spilled range and Excel is managing it for us. Now, if you see, it's a list of some of the dynamic functions that are available in Excel. Now, here comes the most important part. When Excel creates a spilled range, it also gives us a way to reference the entire output using a special symbol, the hash sign. Instead of selecting individual cells, I can reference the original formula cell followed by a hash. Like here we refer the spilled range of table headers and it gives us the complete range. This is how we will refer tables indirectly using spill referencing in XLOOKUP formula so that it works even in data validation. In the next step, we will use these spilled ranges inside XLOOKUP and then use that same logic inside data validation to create truly dynamic dependent dropdowns. Let's implement this step by step. First, we will create a spilled range for the table headers. This formula simply references the table headers row and Excel spills all category names automatically. Next, we will create another spill range that mirrors the entire table body. So, if I select the whole table range, you see it automatically detects the table name. And if I press enter, it's now referencing to the complete table in this spill range. Now we have a dynamic spill range for continents, a dynamic spill range for all the related countries. These ranges update automatically whenever the data table grows. Next, we will create another spilled range for the table headers and the table body for our second table also. Now, instead of pointing XLOOKUP directly to the table, we will point it to spilled ranges using the hash symbol while implementing L2 and L3 dropdown. Let's start building the dropdowns. For level 1, select the range where you want to implement L1 dropdown. Go to data validation, choose list, use the spilled header range as a source by using the hash referencing. Since this range is dynamic, new categories added to the table automatically appears in the dropdown. No manual updates required. For level 2, we will use XLOOKUP to get the countries only specific to L1 selected continent using spill references. So, let's first try this XLOOKUP in the grid itself. Here in this cell, type XLOOKUP. Select this cell for lookup value, and for lookup range we want table 1 headers with the continent names, but instead of using the table references, B will refer spilled range of headers using hash syntax. And similarly for the return array, select the spilled range of countries, use exact match and press enter. See, the XLOOKUP is working fine. Note that we have used spilled ranges instead of the tables itself for this XLOOKUP function. Now select the entire L2 drop-down range, then go to the data validation, apply the XLOOKUP formula we just created and press OK. Now selecting a continent instantly updates the country drop-down. No indirect, no named ranges, no buffer columns. Level 3 works exactly the same way. The only difference, lookup values come from level 2 and data comes from the spilled ranges of second table. Now select the entire L3 drop-down range, then place this formula inside data validation and press OK. Once applied, select a country. You see, it updates the city or regions drop-down automatically. The same pattern repeats. Now let's test the system. I will add a new continent, new countries and then new cities. Notice the table expands, spilled ranges update and all the drop-down updates automatically. No formula edit, no resizing, no redesigning. This is what a fully dynamic dependent drop-down system looks like. So the key idea in this video is simple. Table stores the data, dynamic array mirrors the data, then XLOOKUP connect the logic, and data validation displays the result. This is how you build Excel system that don't break as the data grows. That's it for this video. If this helped you understand dynamic dependent dropdowns better, do hit the like button and make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more real world Excel system design.